All right, y'all. So I'm thinking about this oiling system, and look, I'm just going to jump right into it. If you have an oil pump here, okay, this is a Mopar. It's a Mopar block, okay. Some of them hanging off the timing cover. Some of them have them in front of the crankshaft nose, or most of the engines out there, I believe, have the pump right here. So, all right, so you got a pump right here. You got your oil pressure gauge right here, not very far from the oil pump itself. So, your oil pump's pumping oil. You got 50 psi here. It travels through the engine, goes into the block. By the time it gets to the end, okay, of the block, okay, over here, then it has to go over, travel to the lifter. You don't have 50 psi there, okay. Every single one of these openings is an orifice for a leak, okay. That's what it's designed to do. So by the time you go through all this oiling and you have friction loss and you got those tiny passages, you got the orifices bleeding out. By the time you get to the end of the oiling system, it's not 50 psi, all right? It's more like 20 or 30, all right? So high pressure springs, yes, they help. They help out a lot, all right? Because it helps with maintaining the proper oil pressure throughout the block, even though you're still going to have losses. You're always going to have losses. Now, one way to combat that is to feed from the nearest part of the oiling system, from the nearest part of the oil pump, okay, where the pressure is being generated. You have to link that. You have to make a transfer line, make it a grid system, okay? Because this is a terminating system. This is a deadhead system with a bunch of leaks. You need to make it a grid system. You got your pump here. You take the closest part to your pump and you put it in the furthest part of your motor. How do you do that? So here we go. We have it. This engine block, okay, it's an LA, but it's relatively the same concept as the Magnum. So here we go. You have your oil pump located in the back of the motor, okay? The easiest, closest way to do this is, you see this feed right here to your oil. Here's where you put your oil pressure gauge. You have a channel in here, right? You drill that, okay? You tap it for NPT. And then you put a line from here to here. That's it. You just created a pressure equalizing line for the whole system. So not only are you feeding from the furthest point of the oiling system to the closest point, you just closed the whole system. So now it has nowhere else to go but to meet in the middle and just pressurize. So it's no longer 50 psi, 40, 45, 40, 30. You get it, okay? By the time it gets here, it's like 20, 25, whatever it is, all right? I'm just making these numbers up. But the pressure you get at the end of your oiling system is less than what you have at the pump. Now, you got 50 psi from the pump feeding the furthest point here. That's it. One line from here to there, or from here to here. You just solved 85% of the oiling system problems with this style engine. That's it. You're done. One line, 2 drill holes, NPT, 1/3 line. Okay? That's simple. It's what you can do at home. You don't have to go from here to here, here to there, to there, to there. No, that's just more garbage in your engine that can fail. All you need is from there to there. And you just solved 80% of the oiling issues with the small block Mopar. That's it, plain and simple. One line.